Hello there, this is Texas Style Cuisine and I'm Chef Johnny. Sure do appreciate you stopping by today. I tell you what, we are breaking out the black pots again. I'm going to roast us up a really nice chicken and some vegetables, so stay tuned and let's see how we get that done. Got this oven out, and it again is a 12-inch. It's a deep one, so this is what I call one of my roasters. It's not for bacon, it is for roasting. And I'm going to take it and I'm just going to spray it down with some non-stick spray. There is some oil in this dish, so I could probably get away without doing this, but it doesn't hurt. Better safe than sorry. Don't want anything to stick. And if we go all the way up the sides, that'll help with cleanup in a little while anyway. So that's ready to go. Take care of it. Now I'm going to start putting in my vegetables. And got a medley of vegetables tonight, but I have some red potatoes here. Got some bigger ones, so I have quartered them up so that they're not too big. And then I have some nice little round ones. So kind of had to pull different resources. Looked in the refrigerator and saw what was there. So that's kind of what we're having for supper tonight. But get all my potatoes in. I have some nice onions quartered up, just 2 white onions. Drop those in. Some carrots. Oh, they're inch and a half because they're a little skinnier. You'll see down at the bottom I had a couple of bigger carrots, and they're a little shorter, about 1 inch. Got some more potatoes. I'm going to hold on to a couple of these onions. I'm going to wait and put them on the top. Now, going in is some butternut squash. So a lot of good flavor right here. Y'all might have saw my roasted root vegetables the other day. That was very good. And butternut squash goes good in that dish. Of course, it's not a root, so I didn't do it with root vegetables, but it is a very good. I found a couple of small beets, so peeled those. Really, the only thing I peeled the butternut squash, peeled the beets. Fixed to put in some turnips. Turnips were put in whole. And I was out of celery. I had a couple of bulb onions left over, so those are going to go in. Here's some more beet. And I'm just going to drop the rest of my vegetables in here. And you're going to see I've got some carrots. As they were bigger in diameter, I cut them shorter. So we try to get a uniform cook to them. And I'm going to stir this together after I add some oil to it. And this is just olive oil. So I want these vegetables to have a coating of oil. Right there. Coming in with some coarse salt. Good amount. There's a lot of vegetables in there. And I'm also going to season up my chicken some that's going to go on top of these with salt and pepper and garlic and some Italian seasoning. Good amount of salt there. Black pepper. Garlic. Some of my Italian herbs. If you don't have Italian seasoning, just grab you some basil and some oregano, maybe some thyme. Put those in there. They'll work just fine. Let's just toss all these together. Kind of get them coated with our seasonings and with that oil. Those look good. I'm going to lay a couple of my nice big onions, kind of just take some of the seasoning and oil off my hands and drop those in. I want those to sit up on top. That's nice. Let me wash my hands off and I'll show you how we're going to take care of our chicken. Now, here's my chicken. Nice little 3.5 pound chicken. And I'm just going to put my seasonings in, and I'm going to start by putting them on the inside of this bird. So, pepper. Good amount of pepper in there. I do like pepper if y'all haven't figured that out yet, but drop in some garlic. Some Italian herbs inside that bird. And then I'm going to shake in some of this coarse sea salt. In fact, I'm going to pop the other side where it'll be a little easier to get it in there. There we go. Won't hurt to get a little more on those vegetables either. Let's just drop some on there. So that's ready. Now let's work on the outside. Take my oil again. Doesn't take a whole lot, just enough to coat my skin. It's going to help all my seasoning stick, and it'll help with browning some. I'd say that's the only thing you have to be careful of in this dish is it sometimes it doesn't brown, but at the end we're going to pile some coals on top, get that hot, and try to brown up our skin nicely at that time. So lay him on his back. Black pepper's going on. Some garlic. Italian seasoning. I'm gonna shake some of this coarse salt on. That's looking pretty. Turn him over. I'll go ahead and do my salt's in my hand, so I'll do it first. Make sure I get up underneath his wings some. Black pepper. If you wanted to slide some up underneath the skin, you really could do that. If you wanted to use like an herbed butter and coat this chicken with it, and then maybe even slide some of that herb butter up underneath the skin, that would work wonderful also. But kind of however you like to season up your chickens. I have a lot of chicken recipes in my rotisserie chicken. I'll put a link for it down there. It's a wonderful herb butter recipe on it, and I show how to use my Lion Grill and the rotisserie on it to do that. And that's a great recipe. Has a lot of great flavor, but I think our bird has plenty of seasoning on it. So now to make sure it cooks evenly, I'm going to truss this bird. A lot of people don't do that. I like to do it. So I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to poke a couple of holes in the skin down here so I can tuck the legs into those holes. So you just take one leg and push it in the opposite side and get it in that hole. Hopefully y'all can see this all right where I'm doing this. Then the other side. I did a whole bird for you the other day, and I guess when I did my beer can chickens, and we poked holes in the side and showed you how to do that. Today I'm just going to tuck my wings back, because these wings actually are going to work down in those vegetables and it's going to help them not overcook. But I'm going to kind of make a hole in here. I don't want it to go all the way down, but I want it to go a little further down. I don't want it too close to the top. So we're going to push some of the vegetables back. I like that right there. That bird looks pretty. He's tucked in. He's not on the very bottom, so that's going to protect him some from that heat on the very bottom. And I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more where I rubbed off some seasoning, a little bit of pepper, a little Italian seasoning. And this bird is ready to get on the fire. So let me get my coals set up. We're going to be cooking him today at 425 degrees. Wait till my coals will warm up a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my meter and use it. Y'all have seen me use this on other cooks. Now, by putting it in this Dutch oven, you really limit how far it'll go away, but if you're next to this Dutch oven, you can read the temperature of that chicken, and I think that is just really cool. So before, where you'd have to take your lid off, how hot's my chicken, and check things always, don't have to do that with this meter. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to get the tip of it in the thick part of my breast. And we're going to see if we can cook this bird up. Never used it in the Dutch oven before, but today's going to be the first time, and I think it's going to work great. I've checked it. I do know I can read signal through the Dutch oven, but we're going to do it this way today and see if we can pull this chicken out right at 165 degrees. I think these charcoals are about ready, so let me show you how we get that set up. Now, y'all have seen me do this before. Here's my camp-made charcoal lighter, and I tell you what, folks, that is a handy little charcoal chimney. It will fold up and fit inside of a 12-inch Dutch oven. Camp Made makes a lot of ovens. I didn't use theirs tonight because it's not quite as deep as this one, and I wanted a little extra height, so I didn't use it tonight. But it is a very good oven. They have different sizes. What I'm going to do is, since we're going at 425, if y'all will remember right, I take the diameter of the oven and double it, so it's a 12-inch oven. So that means we need 24, and 2 would be our 350. So 26. But since it's a deep, I always add 2 extra. That makes us up to 28. And then I'm wanting to go an extra 75 degrees. So really that's 3 charcoals. I'm probably just going to go ahead and go with 4 extra. So 28, so I need 32 charcoals. So I'm going to go half on bottom, half on top. So that's 16, but I'm going to pull some off the bottom, 2, and move them to the top. So I'm going to go 14 on bottom, and I'm going to go 18 on top. So here we go. And I tell you what, I almost forgot an ingredient. Let me dump that in real quick. Got one of my lid lifters. I have got 2 cups of chicken broth that I'm going to pour in here just to give me a little moisture. And if you'll look, I lined the outer ring of my Dutch oven. That's to keep the heat evenly across this. You'll see some people pack them all the way to the middle. Sometimes when I'm using regular charcoal or I'm using regular coals off of burning wood, you'll see it come to the middle. But what happens is you get hot spots, especially under the bottom. You want to keep that fire out on the outer edge, and it'll radiate into the middle. And when we're trying to brown that chicken at the end, you'll probably see me drop some in the middle right here. So the top's ready. So now I am going to put 14 charcoal up underneath this basket. And the one thing I really like about this Camp Made is that it just is just about the right size for a Dutch oven, where chimney starters sometimes have just too much. So you know, using a half a chimney or a partial chimney and items like that. Well, using this, you don't have to do that. So let me finish this. We're going to go 15 minutes, and I'll show you how I spin this around. We've got the chicken on. We're going to spin it every 15 minutes like we always do. Y'all seen me do that before. But I'll show you one of the spins if you've never seen one of my videos so you can understand how we do that. But every 15 minutes, we're going to give the pot itself a turn and the lid. But we'll be back to show you that later. And while we're waiting, I want to tell you about a friend of mine that has a wonderful channel. If you've never seen him, go see the Backwoods Gourmet. This guy has some fantastic dishes. He has a channel right now that is growing like wildfire. He's doing wonderful things over there. Does a whole lot of Dutch oven cooking. You're going to see some catch and cook on his fish. You're going to see some hunt and cook on his wild game that he does. And he does a lot of other dishes also. But he's in the Dutch ovens a lot. So if you like Dutch oven cooking, go see my buddy, the Backwoods Gourmet, because he is fantastic. And I'll put a link down below for his box. So as you can see, these coals are just about gone. The ash will actually insulate that lid from heat. So I took it off. I put my 14 down on bottom. Actually, I went with 12 instead of the 14, and the rest of my 32, I'm going to put up on top. Because remember, we wanted to brown that skin of that chicken at the end. Whew. Good thing I still had my rag in my hand. Could have burnt myself trying to grab that. But I'm going to put these on the top. And I'm going to get this good and hot. It's now been another 15 minutes. So I'm going to pick up my pot, spin it, 45 degrees, quarter turn. Lid goes back. And again, I did not pick it up. Going to keep that heat moving around the top. Remember, we're trying to brown that chicken, so right now, I don't think it'll hurt to move some of these coals toward the center. So we can get some heat right where that chicken is. But you can see the steam's coming out of it, so it's good and hot. And we should be ready here pretty quick. We just got that Dutch oven spun around, and I tell you what, if you get a chance right now, it might be a good time to go down there and hit the subscribe button on my channel. I really would appreciate that. Remember, hit that notification bell so you know every time I put up a new video. We've got a lot of good stuff on here. We've got over 200 recipes that you can go look at, and I sure would appreciate it if you would. And remember to share me around and let people know what you're seeing here on Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. Cook this for about an hour and 20 minutes, probably. Let's take it off. Oh yeah, we got a little browning up there. If I would have moved my coals a little quicker from the bottom to the top, You can see it started to brown up some. Not quite as brown as we might have liked it, but it is looking pretty. Let me see if I've got a spoon here. I think I do. We can look, and you can see I stuck some mushrooms in here when y'all weren't looking. So they kind of went in. They'd been better if they would have went in at the beginning, but they're cooked all the way through. My onions are nice and tender. My butternut squash, let's see it. Oh yeah, see, it's just breaking apart there. So that butternut squash is cooked all the way through. Tastes very good. Here's some turnip. Let's try the turnip. That's what you really worry about, is the turnip and the potatoes. But, whew, it's hot. Turnip is done. This chicken is done. This is an excellent Dutch oven dish. It's not that hard to do. Main thing is concentrate on getting that heat up. Now tonight, I was going to use a campfire. We were going to go out in the fire ring and cook it all without charcoal to show you the other way of doing it. Y'all know sometimes I use my fire ring, sometimes I use charcoal, but we have had one of the wettest Septembers there are. So I had everything ready out there, and here came in a rainstorm. So couldn't move the cameras out and cook for y'all out in the front today, but we got this done with charcoal. The Kingfisher did a fine job on it, and it tastes very good, and it is a beautiful, beautiful dish. I'm going to see if I can, that cooled down enough. Yeah, I'll pull my meter out. And that was handy. You know, I didn't know if it would work. Never done that ever before. My Cabela's Dutch ovens actually have a notch in them where you can run a wire in there to check temperature. But I never have done it because you're always spinning the lid and it doesn't work. So I thought I would give my meter a try, and it worked excellently. This chicken was about 167, 168 degrees when we pulled it off. And again, it would have got a little more browning on it if I'd have moved those coals off the bottom and came to the top a little bit quicker. But lovely chicken. Hope you enjoyed it. I promise you we're going to. But anyways, great dish. Hope you try it sometime. Tell your friends and family about us. And we're going to see y'all down the road on Texas-style barbecue and cuisine.
How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.